Morning traders, Tommy Bahama here from Max3 Trader on YouTube, coming to you with an August recap of our trades. Let's get started. Please pause your video player and read our disclaimer. Thank you very much. And we're going to go over our trades. Let's start with Apple. We discussed Apple earlier in one of the other videos, but we got in at 7.55, got a double at more than a double at 17.98, and then as it came back down and crossed the red line, we took our exit. Actually, we took our exit a little bit before when it touched that red line because I didn't like the price action. So let's find Apple over here on our right there to the top. Apple did pretty good for us. The next one we want to look at is AMD. AMD, we were in the 175 call, so let's pull that up here. AMD, September 175 call. Bam. So we got in 9.99, got out at 17.65 with two of them, left a runner, and the runner ended up losing because when it came back down, it was below our entry. AMD is right there. So 1,500 on the first two, 311 on the last two. I mean the last one. And you could see, got in here, it gapped up. We got our double or close to it. And then it came down and reversed. The next one we want to look at is B, and we took B twice in the month of August. The first one was a $22 call. 22. And 111 got out at 193. The reason that was on B was because we got in here and it went up before earnings. So we got out before earnings. And that was right to the top here. We took 10 contracts, cleared 800 and some. Then we took B again right here and we took 12 of them. And we got in on 8.15 the second time after earnings, and we let it run up. And that was on a $24 call. And as you can see, we got our double, and then we left our runner, and our runner did even better. So we took B twice in the month, and both times was good for us. So the next one is Caterpillar. This was a put on Caterpillar, and as you can see, it didn't work out too well. Let's look at Caterpillar in the 410 put. CAT 410. Right there. As you can see, we got in at 1166, got out at 811 because it went against us. Caterpillar, right there. 778. Anyone tells you they trade and they never take losses, they're not telling you the truth. COF, it was another one we took twice this month. First one was a 210 put. I think that was right here. Let's pull up COF on the option charts. 210 put on COF. Yeah, we got in at 940, got out at 680. I think this is one of the first, yeah, that was the first trade in August. We lost on that, but then we got it again. Tried to get my money back, and that was on the 22nd, and that was a 220 call. So right here, and we got in at $8, got out at 1046. So let's see, did we get all our money back? 784 and 733. Not all of it, close. The next one is GDX. GDX we took twice. The first time was up here and we left a runner, and the runner was good as well. Let's look at that in the option chart. GDX. $55 call. right there. And we got in at 241, got out at $5, and then came back down, and we took the runner on the red day. But then I took it again, GDX, on the 20th. And let's see how that played out. That was a $58 call. And yeah, got in at 226, got out at 430, and then the runner we got out at 552. And that was on 5 contracts, looks like. Yep. The next one is Google. And Google we also took twice. The first one was a 195 call, GOOGL. $195. There you go. And if you notice a lot of these, and I'll explain this to the end, a lot of these we're going up, we get our double or close to it, and then they're coming back down. So the runners really didn't run in our favor. So the first Google we took here was this one right here. You see we got out at 1504 for the first two, and then just 1064 for the second one. We got in at 884. So Google the second time down here was a 205 call, and let's look at that. Google on the 205 call. We got in at 755, got out at 1190. And the reason I got out, because that's still going up, I close it out at the end of the month. Typically I do that, and then I'll show you in the end why I see the market looks like it's rolling over, and I'm going to show you a trade from back in February when it would look the same. And so I'm very cautious of that. Home Depot, 385 call. Let's take a peek. HD, 385 right there. Same thing. We got our double, but then it came back. And we got out just before earnings on this. Home Depot right there to the top of the spreadsheet, and did pretty good for us. The next one is J&J. J&J, we got in at a 170 call. And again, the runner, well, I guess I had a chance to get it, but it didn't continue running. It pulled back, but we got our double, and then we closed it out when it came back below the red line. And there's J&J, still did pretty good for us. The next one is Meta. Now Meta, as you can see here, I took a call on this day. Now let's go back. Meta worked out good for me here, worked out good for me here, didn't work out good for me here, and didn't work out good for me here either. As you could say, 1, 2, 3, the fourth day, it's below the red line. And Meta slapped me around pretty good. But I trade my rules, and $3,700 loss on Meta. But that's trading. Meta was a 790 call. It's not even showing 790 there. Let's go 54. There we go. Yep, got the sad, angry face there. Got in at 28, got out at 1650, and we move on. And the next one is MSTR. MSTR was a put. We took it here. Let's look at it on the option chart. It's a 375 put, MSTR. And as you can see, 25 got out at 50. I didn't highlight this when we got out on Friday. Let me do that real quick. This oversized pointer what I have so you could see where I'm going. MSTR in the spreadsheet this kind of made up for the pain of Meta. And there we go. The next one on the list is Nike. Yeah, Nike didn't go too well for us either, but again, we trade our process, win, lose, or draw. Nike was a 77.5 call. Nike, 77.5. There we go. And as you could see, he got in at 285, came down to 209. Nike was the last trade I took on 822, $803 loss. The next one we're looking at is PayPal. PayPal didn't work too well either. It was a put. Let's see how that put turned out. Whoops. PYPL. And PayPal was a $70 put. And again, got out pretty quick 2 days later, but it was crossing above. Good thing I got out on that day before it just leaped up and would have been a much bigger loss. Where is PayPal over here? I think it's near the top. PayPal right there. 79, so that's not so bad at all. The next one is SoFi. Let's see what SoFi did for us. It was a $22 call. SOFI. SoFi, we got in here. Didn't do too much. Didn't get a chance to get a double. A double would have been around the $4 range. Didn't get up there, but when it came down and crossed below that red line, that's my signal to exit. Luckily, I exited early enough in the day. Still end up with a small profit. SoFi is right there, 277. The next one on the list is TMO. Let's see what TMO did. TMO was a 470 call. TMO. $470 call. Here's another one that got in, got our double or close to it, and then came back. The runners weren't running. And again, we'll get into that in a little bit as to why I think that was. But TMO worked out pretty good for us. Next one on the list is TSCO. Nice support, trend line break. TSCO. Sorry if it sounds like I'm running through this pretty fast. I don't like to make long videos, and felt this one I had a lot of material to cover. That's not where we need to be. TSCO, $60 call. There we go. So again, this went up, but it came back down, and I exited as this came down, and it's closing below the red line on the last day of the month anyway. So it's still a winner. This is TSCO right there to the top. TSCO, it was 6 of them, 447 bucks. And ULTA, classic example, what I keep saying, never trade through earnings because you never know what's going to happen. Let's look at Ulta. ULTA 520 call. Right here. Whew. Glad I got out when I did. 221, we didn't get up into the $40 range, but I got out on this day because I wanted to exit before earnings. As you see here, earnings was coming out on 828 after the market closed, so I got out on 828. Ulta's right there. Still not a bad trade at all. And the last one on the list is Walmart. And let's look at Walmart, which was a $100 call. WMT. I don't know if you could hear that dog in the background, but that's our crazy animal. Someone's coming, so he's making some noise. Uh, 352 is where I got in, got my double at 650, but as you can see, it came down. Let's find Walmart, and Walmart's right there. So as you can see, that covers it. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red losses. And let me show you what happened back in February. So if we switch out to a 1-year view here, you see this is the ES and the NQ. Both of them were showing resistance, couldn't get above resistance on the ES and the NQ. These are the futures for the S&P and the NASDAQ. Come on, chart, populate. There you go. And it was breaking. So when this happens, I look for charts. And as you can see right now, it's doing the same thing again. It's got resistance and it's breaking a trend line. So when this happens, I look for things that's going on. And Tesla was the one back in February 21st. Had already come off its high, come over to the red line and broke. Come on over to the red line and broke again September 21st. And this was an excellent trade. So today I'll be looking to get into some puts and see if this market continues to come down, as it's showing it's breaking there at the top after hitting resistance for the last week or two. And that concludes this video. Give it a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Turn on notification bell. And if you have any questions, reach out to me, max3trader@gmail.com. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. God bless.